Hi guys, it's Kelly here and I'm back with another video. Today's video is featuring a new product from the Rabbit Hole Designs, and it is my first stamp set. It is called Lovely Lilies. I drew these. You can see right here on the side of it where it says this little dash, there's a little KT next to it for Kelly Taylor. And so I thought you guys would maybe enjoy seeing it kind of in its infancy, my pencil drawings of it before it became this digital image that was turned into a stamp and now you can purchase and bring into your home. Kind of wild how we got here. And obviously that's going to be story time today. Even though we just came off like this huge crafty weekend and I have tons of stories to tell you from just my regular life, today's story time is going to be this story time that I've been sitting on forever. So I am stamping. We're going to color them. Avi. I mean, do we have a choice? No, we don't. They must be Copa colored immediately. So I'm stamping in some Intense Black ink from Hero Arts. This is safe for alcohol markers, and I'm using my same Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock. This is the largest image in the bunch, and it is like this kind of lily swag. So it has all the leaves in there for you. It's perfectly, like, it's usable just by itself as a focal point. It should be large enough to carry your card. And then also included in the set, I have this little, it's like a little mini bouquet with two slightly smaller lilies and then like some buds, and then you get a single lily as well and then some leaves. I drew the leaves intentionally in a way so that they could be used either way. So you can use them with the little flip on the outside, or you can turn them the other way and use like what would be the tail end. Either way, the leaves will work with your images and they will be accurate to what lily leaves look like. And that's just because as a card maker, like, I wanted it to be as versatile as possible. I wanted you to be able to get the most out of it. And so here, I'm not gonna, you guys know, and this was something I heard again and again this weekend as I get to meet some of you, was people were like, I love that you're so real. I love that you're transparent. I love that you share your life with us. I was nervous. I was super nervous kind of approaching this project because it is my first stamp set. I wanted them to be what I envisioned in my head, and for some reason I was having a really hard time. So I just kind of picked some colors that were already on my desk, and I was like, okay, you know, I've been using these lately and kind of feeling these colors and let me see. And it was no. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I was like, no, this is not how I see these. And so today we're going to be talking about complementary colors. When I was drawing these, the intention was for them to be tiger lilies. Now, I don't like to pigeonhole my stamps because I believe that you can color things whatever color you want them to be because it's your card. But that is what I kind of saw in my head. And so that's what I switched to. And I'm not even going to change the image. I'm not going to restamp it. I can color right over top of these paler colors and nobody will ever be any the wiser. But I am going to color the first ones as tiger lilies. And this, like, as soon as I did the first one, I was like, yes, this is what I saw. These bold, bright colors, which are very much me. And so my suggestion to you would be, when you get overwhelmed or apprehensive or something's just not coming together, go to the things you know you love. I know I love a good contrast. I know I love the drama. I know I love bold colors. And so that's exactly what I did with all three of my cards today. And by the end of it, I was like, yes, I am happy with this. This is what I am coming to week one, day one with. I am happy with that. So there are dies that match. I will be using those today as well. And you can get them at the Rabbit Hole Designs store. As far as I know, they're only being sold there. They're exclusively being sold from her website. I don't think they'll be wholesaled unless Marianne's changed her mind. But so then some of you might be asking, like, how, for your stamp set, how did you end up with the Rabbit Hole Designs? And I told you guys in a previous video when we talked about it a little bit, the reason that I ended up with Marianne at the Rabbit Hole Designs is because she was first. And she was first before I was doing sketches and videos and people were seeing them. She was asking me about my drawing and my illustrations when I was posting doodles that I made on Post-it notes at work. She was sending me messages. We would buy that as a stamp. If you're ever interested in stamp illustration, let me know. We would buy that. And so that is why Marianne is first, because from the very beginning, before I had any even like faith in myself that I could turn it into a stamp, she was like, you can do this, and I would love to be the person who helps you do that. And so I'm immensely grateful to her. And then, for the opportunity to do it. How did we end up with tiger lilies? I was really nervous. And so between Marianne and Dawn, Dawn Wolfslagel from W+9, who also used my set, and she watercolored it. And it's amazing because she's amazing, just so endlessly talented. And I think she's going to try to do a video maybe later in the week or next week. But she did post some still shots of her watercolor on Instagram and on her website, and it's amazing. Or on her blog, I'm sorry, and it's amazing. But anyway, they were kind of encouraging me to do it. And I was like, I'm not really ready yet. I'm not familiar with Illustrator. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm a total novice. And they were both like, Dawn especially was like, dude, you're just going to have to do it. Like, you're ready. You're there. You're just going to have to do it. And it's going to be scary and you'll figure it out. So now once I have all three of my tiger lilies colored, I'm going to go in with these yellows and do the stamen. I kept the darker colors mostly to the thin portion of the stamen, and then like the seed or the pollen portion. I can't think of the name of it. I did the lighter yellows. But anyway, you're just gonna have to do it. And so I was like, okay, like I don't know what I'm doing, but all right, I'm gonna do it. So I actually had asked Marianne, this is what I told her. I cannot make you any promises, but if you tell me what you're looking for, I will see what I can come up with. And so she was like, she had wanted a tiger lily set, and then there was something else. I honestly can't remember what it was. And I was like, okay. So I sat down and I started trying to see what I could come up with for the tiger lilies. And so I did a couple of them, and like there's just stuff that I don't know about stamp making, you know what I mean? Like to draw it is different than when you're somebody who produces them. So the first ones that I sent her were I had too many dots. I had too many little freckles in my tiger lilies, and she's like, yeah, those are going to stamp super muddy because they're too close together. So we had to adjust that. But for the most part, outside of like some line width issues, for the most part, what I drew originally is what you're seeing in this set. And so because I am a card maker, I wanted there to be elements that like, hey, I just need a really beautiful element. I just want to, I can stamp, everything's put together for me and I can just sit down and color it. That's how this little swag was born. But the other elements are because I am also a person who likes to build my own. I like to have the option to stamp them and kind of build up what I'm looking for. And so that's why the other elements in the set are things that you can build upon. So you have that single lily and the leaves. You can, make an arrangement with that. You can add that lily to the other arrangements that are already in the set. You can add the leaves to the other arrangements that are already in the set, which I'm going to do today. So it's just, I really tried to make it as versatile as possible so that you would be able to get the most out of it, because I haven't changed who I am. Like, I'm still a cheap chicken. And so if I'm going to buy something, I want to have multiple ways to use it. And so I'm sure you'll be seeing me use this a couple of different ways because I've been sitting on this. I drew these images back in October. And so now here we are in April, and you're just now seeing them, but it's a long process, to get through it, to get, yourself where you're happy with the image, to then have it approved by whoever, whichever company you're drawing for, in this case, the Rabbit Hole Designs, and then for them to produce it, and get the samples back to make sure they're good, and then, start like okay, we've approved it and now we're mass producing. So yeah, it's something that I honestly truly never thought that I would do. And like somebody on Instagram, which I posted it on Instagram earlier, as part of like the release, and I knew that my video wouldn't come until later, because that's just that, my videos are later in the afternoon, because that's when you guys are here. So I like the reception and the encouragement on Instagram has been wonderful. My friends, and followers have both been endlessly encouraging, and I am super excited about that because I do have some other ones in the works. But this is the first one, and I am so grateful for the opportunity, but I am also very proud of this. I know that there's other illustrators in the industry who have years and years of experience and, kind of curating their style and how, to put things together. And I'm not there yet. But that doesn't mean that I won't ever be. And so just like with card making, when I encourage you guys, like you have to, practice and you have to keep going, but everybody starts somewhere. And so this beautiful, lovely Lily set is my starting line in illustration. And I think she's awfully pretty. So I'm excited to see how things go from here, if it's something that, I continue to enjoy and keep up with, or if it's something that I'm like, meh, not really for me. I'm just going to go back to sketching just for the fun of it. But for right now, I am enjoying the drawing of it and seeing those things kind of come to life. And just how cool is it that, like, I could sit here in my super awesome blue robe. My husband would disagree that it's super awesome, but, I know that it's super awesome, in my living room and, draw out this image. And then, 6 months later, 8 months later, one of you is going to purchase this. You're going to make a card with it and you're going to give it to one of your loved ones to bring them joy. And it started with me drawing this image. And I just think that is the coolest thing. Like that's pretty amazing. And I've always been very grateful for the relationship that we have here on YouTube, and that God has kind of moved me, and put people in my life to encourage me in different ways to, end up on this platform where I can talk to you guys, not just about life, but about my faith and about my struggles, and we can share that along with our passion for creating. And I'm just very, very grateful. So anyway, 14 minutes into the video, we haven't talked about complementary colors hardly at all. But anyway, so how did I pick the pink? I picked the pink because, I had the orange and I was like, okay, the orange is blue. That will look wonderful together. Because honestly, was I going to make a card without blue? No, I wasn't. I knew blue would make this baby shine. And so the Tiger Lilies make sense with the blue. I wanted something different. I wanted to show you that you could color them a different color and they would still be beautiful. And so I already had the yellow greens that I was using in the swag, and I was like, okay, so I already have yellow green. I'll continue that trend with all of the leaves. And what is the complement to yellow green? Well, that, my friend, is pink. And so you can use complementary colors in different ways. I used complementary colors two ways. I used it within my image, so the pink and the green, and then I used it with my background, so my white space. Instead of doing a white card, which is also beautiful, I love a clean white card, don't get me wrong. But so I used that white space with the navy and then colored my image, its complementary color, which is orange, and then they will kind of pop off of each other. And I would encourage you to try, if you have not, sitting down and using complementary colors. And if you're not familiar, all that means is they're just opposites on the color wheel. And these are high contrast color combinations that will pop. They're super easy to do because all the work is done for you. Now, for me, adding in the navy, like with this pink and green, makes sense. They're evenly spaced on the color wheel. If I turned the triangle the correct way, I think that they would be triadic, which is a different kind of combination. But like they work nicely together. Pink works nicely with navy. Green works nicely with navy. Orange obviously is navy's, blues complement. And the green, the yellow green also works well with the navy. So everybody's making friends here, and it's just a super easy combination. Now, you saw me with the last lily. I did a combination of the pink and orange because I like a lot of color variation, and honestly, I was just playing around, and why not? I did go back in and outline my images. I haven't done this in a long time, but it's something that I really enjoy doing, and it kind of just makes those images a bit bolder. So I did that, and then for the stamen, I went in with a white gel pen and just added little highlights to those as well to help them kind of pop forward. And then from here, we're going to go to the die cutting. So one of the things with the die cuts that I wanted to point out is, so you have this swag that you can cut out completely. And then you have this other lily here, this extra lily. This die, because this flower is exactly the same as this flower in the middle of the swag, the die fits both of them. Now, some of you might be thinking, like, Kelly, I didn't want to buy a set that had two of the same exact lily in it. There's a reason why I did it that way. I did it that way because that will give us more opportunity to do different techniques, which I will show you in another video. So here I have everything die cut out. I'm just laying out my sentiments. I used one of the sentiments from the actual set, and that says, distance means so little when someone means so much, which I just think is a nice little friendship sentiment. And I'm going to white heat emboss all of these onto my navy card fronts. The other sentiment that is included, which I think makes sense with the lilies, is with sympathy. Why can't I talk? But my cards were kind of like bright and fun colors, and I don't necessarily know that they would suit a sympathy card. And so I went in and I used some different sets from the rabbit hole. I used one, the you and the hello. Those have stamps, but then they also have dies, and I used both of them to kind of bring them together. And all of my sentiments are white on here. So when I was doing my die cutting, I did the die cutting of the hello and the you as well. And then I cut a lot of extra layers of the flowers. And that's just so I can give myself a little bit of height. So I'm also going to, because you guys know I don't love a white outline. That's no secret here on this channel. And so I'm going to go in. This is a B99. The cardstock that I'm using is Nautical from Hero Arts. It's a near perfect match to that B99, which is called, is it called Slate? I can't remember, but it's a B99. It'll be linked below. So I had no issue being able to see the white on the side where it was stacked up, but I didn't want to see the white on the top. And so I'm just going in. I've done this before with bunches of different die cuts, coloring in that edge so that you won't be able to see it and it will blend seamlessly into the card front. Now, I was only able to do it separately with this one. For the other ones, I did have to put them together before I started doing the coloring, just because I was tucking in some leaves behind, and so I had to allot some green on the border for that. But so this one, I stacked a total of 3 die cuts. So my colored one and then 2 white ones behind it. And then that is going to be my focal point for my card. For my sentiments, for the you and the hello, I also stacked 3 of those so that they just have some weight to them. So this one says, "You were born to sparkle," which I think it's a nice, encouraging sentiment and kind of a nice reminder to you guys, but also to me, that like it's okay to take the risk. And sometimes taking the risk is worth it because, 8 months later, you'll have a stamp set. You'll have a stamp set. So anywho, I'm just going to glue these down. I didn't add any other like foam tape or anything. I let the cardstock kind of take care of that for me. And I have some ideas, especially with this swag, going forward in the future to use it a couple of different ways. I do just want to take a minute to mention that when I knew that the stamp set was coming out, Marianne asked me, if there was anybody I wanted her to send it to. And so I'm not, in this industry, we all have people that we admire. And so first, right out the gate, I was like, will you send it to Dawn? Because her watercoloring is amazing. And also she's my best friend. So I was like, will you send it to Dawn? And then right on the heels of that, I immediately thought of Bobby Lemansky, who is on the Honeybee team with me. She always knocks it out of the park, and she did not disappoint for this set. She did a beautiful shaker card with it. And then Mindy Egan, who I think is endlessly talented, and she is also on the Honeybee team with me. She and Hero Arts, honestly. So I, called her and was like, hey, can I have this sent to you? And her card is stunning with it as well. And I am very, very grateful to those people for, taking the time to create, because I asked them to, And so I super love them for it. I did not know until I saw it. Lydia Fiedler, who I'm also friends with, does some work for the Rabbit Hole, and so she also has a card which is amazing. And there's been nothing but love and positivity from all of my friends on Instagram. Jennifer McGuire sent me a text this morning, and she was like, "I didn't know you were coming out with a stamp set. Why didn't you tell me? I would have, helped." And I was like, "But girl, I just you don't color images, and I didn't want you to feel obligated." And she was like, "Don't be silly. I would love to support you." And so she shared it on her Instagram, and my friend Emily Midget, who's also an amazing illustrator, sent me messages, and just there's so many more people that I'm even forgetting to mention, but that just were just showering me with love. And I cannot tell you how grateful I am to have such good people in my life. So here I've put all of my layers together, and now the leaves I didn't stack up because they're going to be behind. So I just did one layer for the leaves. And this is just another way that you can kind of bulk up this bouquet and, add in the leaves to make it a little bit fuller than it was. So now once I have these glued in place, I can see what borders I need to color green. And then after that, I'll go in with the same navy color and fill in whatever white border is left so that it kind of blends seamlessly into that card front. But because I was adding other images to it, I did have to wait until it was all glued together. And then once it's done, I'm going to adhere it down to my card. Love the way that hot pink is popping off with that yellow green. I think it looks fantastic. I cannot help that I love bold colors. So here, the Rabbit Hole has a couple of different, like gem, are they gems? They're like dots. And so they have a matte white, which I think is fantastic because you can color those with your Copics PPS. And then they also have a clear and then a clear sparkle enamel dot. I used the clear sparkle because shimmer, which is also what I'm doing here now, is using my shimmer pen to add some glitter to my images. But they're great, and there's multiple sizes in there. I love the little clear glitter ones. So here, this is all 3 cards. This uses all of the images that you get in the set outside of the With Sympathy sentiment. I hope that you learned a little bit of something about complementary colors. I hope you didn't mind me gushing over my friends and sharing my gratefulness with you. Thank you guys so much for your time. Genuinely appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.